American employers can't seem to catch a break. First, they're hit by COVID, then a national labor shortage. Now, more and more employees are testing positive for drug use. Quest Diagnostics recently released its annual drug testing index, and it shows workforce positivity rates that have not been seen in more than 20 years. Positive tests for federally mandated, safety-sensitive workers had been dropping steadily for the last 5 years, but in 2021, the use of marijuana, amphetamines, and cocaine all jumped significantly, especially after on-the-job accidents. Unregulated employers are also seeing a drastic uptick with an overall increase of 8.3% over the last year. But when you look back a few years, you see an even more dramatic change. Positivity for marijuana alone is up 50% when you compare 2021 to 2017. On the flip side, the use of opiates and heroin have both dropped dramatically. In some cases, usage is down more than 70% in 5 years. When researchers looked at various industries, they found that retail showed the highest overall positivity rates, while accommodation and food service showed the highest marijuana use. That grew more than 114% in just 5 years. 18 states and the District of Columbia have already legalized recreational use of marijuana, and several more states have legislation in the works to join them. These statistics are a good reminder that legalization does not mean employers have to look the other way when it comes to drug use. It's more important than ever to have a strong drug testing program in place, one that can keep up with the rapidly changing legislation. The Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration created the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse to keep tabs on drivers who test positive while on the job, to keep them from hiding violations and getting hired by other carriers. The goal was to make the nation's roads safer, something everyone can get behind. But now some say the difficult process to get reinstated after a violation is partially to blame for the massive shortage of drivers needed to move goods across the country. According to the American Trucking Associations, there is now a shortage of 80,000 drivers, and that number could soon double. Since impaired drivers are such a threat to safety, the process to be reinstated after a violation is a bit arduous, requiring work with a substance abuse professional, the completion of an education and treatment program, as well as regular testing that could span several years. On top of that, once the driver is reinstated, many fleets have protocols that prevent them from hiring someone who's had a clearinghouse violation for up to 10 years. The clearinghouse took effect in January of 2020, and many fleet owners say they are huge fans of the process despite the shortage, because no one wants to have an impaired driver on the road. Starting this spring, anyone working with senior citizens in the state of Michigan must have a criminal background check. This goes for new and existing employees, as well as subcontractors and volunteers. The state legislature passed the Older Michiganians Act to not only protect elderly physically, but to also protect them from people who might get access to their personal property and confidential information. The new law requires a criminal history check, as well as national and state level sex offender registry searches. Local agencies will be required to update these checks every 3 years. And that's going to do it for us today. We'll see you next time.